I've toyed around with reviewing this game all week, and I finally decided to go for it. I'll try to be as nice as I can, but there's no guarantees. Edwin and Ringo is a simple flash game in which all you do is move forward on the screen and leap gaps, trying to get a high score. There are hundreds of games like it, so why should this one be any different? Well, I wish I had a bit more going for it, but unfortunately, when put into the midst of other games like this, it just doesn't stand out. First off, there's no story or character profiles. You just play as the two title characters in their little car, moving ahead and jumping over the cliffs. If you fall down a pit or get pushed off the screen, the game ends and you can try again. The score is just incremented steadily, and there are no bonus points to be awarded. That's about it. Again, nothing you haven't played before. However, there is one neat part of the game's visuals that I did enjoy. When you start the game, the background is simply a sketch. However, as you progress onwards, the environment starts to get a bit more detail and color to it. That's pretty cool, because unless you're looking at it, you'd never notice. The only problem is that the changes are limited, so once it all changes, that's it. I just wish the rest of the graphics would have undergone that gradual change, because that would have made it a bit more fun to play. Fun to play? Sadly, this game really isn't. The terrain you drive on is pretty bare, and you'll notice that the blocks are cut off as needed instead of having a smooth edge. There's also not much in terms of animation for the vehicle. In addition, when jumping, there's no altering the height of the jump. Instead, by pressing the spacebar or left clicking, you'll immediately jump a fixed height. This means that you need to time your jumps perfectly. Sure, you just drop down to the next platform, but you obviously can't always do that. If you hit the edge of a platform, you'll be pushed back until you clear the ground. Once free, you can't make up the distance in any way, so you have to be careful not to mess up too many times. All of this sounds like petty complaints. I know, but there's one main flaw that I've noticed right when I started the game. It's actually for this problem that I decided to go ahead and review this game. At point, you can find unclearable jumps. That's right, jumps that are freaking impossible. This was seen on my first attempt. I thought at first I just jumped way too early, but after a few other tries, I noticed that they appeared a couple other times. From what I've seen, this impossible start is only seen at the beginning of each try. So if you can clear that, you should be fine to continue on to get a high score. So what else bogs this game down to mediocrity? Well, other than the pits and various terrain heights, there's no obstacles. This is a shame. There should have possibly been some sort of roadblocks along the way, like boxes, cones, etc. One other thing that does happen to be nice in the game is music. It's a catchy little jingle that will get stuck in your head. You can't help but play the game with a smile on your face, regardless of whether you're enjoying the game or not. When it comes down to it, the lack of variety just makes the game simply boring to play. I mean, I've played the hell out of games like this that are a lot more fun. One of which that comes to mind is Solo Skier, which is a fun game in which you use the mouse to create a platform for a skier while a badass speed metal song plays. It's actually one of the first Flash games of this style that I've ever tried. Another is Epic Coaster, where you control a roller coaster along a track in the evening with a ton of cool background effects, like fireworks going off and flocks of birds flying away. These two games are actually fun and exciting. Edwin and Ringo, sadly, is not. So if you're looking for a side-scrolling platformer like this, feel free to pass by this one. Final score? 2 out of 5. I know this was a short and pretty harsh review, but that's because I'm spending quite a bit of time on my final Flash February 2015 review. I promise that it'll be worth it. I was going to give you a preview, but nah, I'll just keep up the suspense. This is Reaper. As always, facebook.com/ReapersReviews. Happy fragging.